Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. We are coming off Smackdown Live with a big shocker at the end. Just when I thought it was dead and buried, Rusev Day has new life. I am legitimately shocked by the ending of Smackdown Live. I thought maybe Rusev could pull off a victory over Daniel Bryan with interference by Big Ass, but that did not happen. No Big Ass. We had Aiden English at ringside, but he really did not do much of anything. Rusev defeated Daniel Bryan clean, about as clean as a heel can beat a babyface, to advance to the Money in the Bank ladder match in Chicago in 6 weeks. I love it. I was happy that we actually got a nice surprise. Daniel Bryan doesn't need the win. He can take a clean loss every now and then. I thought it was great. I am very happy that Rusev Day is apparently back in business. Could this be the start of a mega push for Rusev? Could Rusev win Money in the Bank? I look at Rusev and I think of the reverse Roman Reigns. He's like the anti-Reigns. The crowd loves Rusev, but WWE for the longest time feels like they have to keep booking Rusev as a heel. They will not turn him babyface and give him the monster push. Will WWE finally give in and strap that rocket to Rusev Day? Will it finally happen? Chris Mace with the first Super Chat donation, $5. What was the best counter to the Swanton Bomb you've ever seen? Thanks for all you do on NoDQ.com. He actually says, was that the best counter? He's talking about The Miz versus Jeff Hardy. So I'll get back to Rusev here in a few minutes. Let's rewind and go back to the start of Smackdown Live. We had Paige come out. She cut a promo. By the way, why? Why did Paige need to bring up that Backlash was a smashing success? Why was that necessary? To me, that just angers the fans even more to give her that line, to script that line for her. She doesn't need to say it. And I think it's just going to frustrate people even more. Backlash, arguably the worst WWE pay-per-view of the year. Some would say even worse than last year's Battleground with the Punjabi prison match. I need to do a poll on that just to see what you guys think. Which pay-per-view was worse, Backlash or last year's Battleground? Actually, if you guys in the chat room want to chime in, I'm curious to know what you think. The Fire Disco Panda says, tone deaf WWE as usual. Braden says, I will say Battleground was worse. Kev says Battleground, but then we got a few backlashes. Big Jeffrey is here, by the way. Big Jeffrey was in attendance tonight at the Baltimore Arena, or the Royal Farms Arena, whatever it's called now. So maybe in about 10-15 minutes or so, once I finish this review, maybe Big G will call in and give us his thoughts from a live perspective. TJS suggested it. Have Big G call in. That's the plan, TJS. We were one step ahead of you. But thank you, TJS, for returning to NoDQ Live. You've been gone for a couple of videos. Glad to have you back. By the way, we have almost 200 live viewers, so thank you to everyone watching live. If you have a chance, please share this video on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, anywhere you go. Please spread the word and tell a friend about NoDQ Live. Let's get to the review. I talked about Paige's promo. Not much to say about it other than that line about Backlash being a success was just absolutely ridiculous. it was totally unnecessary. Paige coming out there doing that promo really meant nothing. WWE already announced the qualifying matches, so Paige coming out there served no purpose. It was just filler. Virtue. Here's Virtue to kill our buzz. Damn you, Virtue. Virtue says Rusev will be just another guy in the Money in the Bank match. Sadly, I have to agree with him. I will believe this Rusev push when I see it. But beating Daniel Bryan is very significant. I'm hoping maybe Rusev Day has a renaissance. Maybe it's a new beginning for Rusev Day. By the way, it looks like WWE is not breaking up the duo of Rusev and Aiden English. Last week we had a segment with Lana, and there was a tease that maybe Rusev and Lana would be paired up again on television, and Aiden English would go in a different direction. But it looks like we're keeping the duo, which I think is best. I love the Aiden English-Rusev dynamic. I love Aiden English's promos. You should not be dropping that anytime soon. Interstate Kyle says, this is WWE's slow period between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. It's usually a snooze fest. I would say other than the main event, this was very much a filler snooze fest show. But we'll see what Big G has to say. Jordan Smith says, no Samoa Joe tonight. That's right. No Joe, no Randy Orton. There were a few other guys. Well, there was a promo with the tag team champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, with their rubber mallets, but still no match from them. Several guys did not have any presence on this show at all. Big Cass, no presence, coming off of that loss at Backlash. This guy with a $2 Super Chat donation, please wish me a happy birthday, my good sir. Thank you for the Super Chat donation, and happy birthday, this guy. Congratulations on your birthday. Hope it's a good one. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope it's wonderful, delightful, whatever. But hope it was a good one in all seriousness. And thank you for tuning in to NoDQ Live and taking time out of your birthday to watch NoDQ Live. I appreciate it. Josh Curry with a $2 Super Chat donation. What did you think of SmackDown? Was it better than Raw? Again, I say this every week, and it's true. SmackDown is a 2-hour show. So SmackDown would have to be a really bad show to be worse than Raw. I have to go with SmackDown, but not by much. I felt, like I said, other than the main event, I thought SmackDown was pretty boring. Very similar to Raw, just a lot of filler, qualifying matches, no real storyline development other than who's going to Money in the Bank. Hero Villain with a $5.23 Super Chat donation, okay. On holidays, get to see live, not a round hashtag, as Joker would say. Okay, I'm not sure what that reference is. I'm not the biggest comic book guy. The only Joker I know is the Heath Ledger Joker, so that might be some other reference that I totally missed. Chris Mace with a $1 Super Chat donation. No comment, but thank you, Chris Mace. I appreciate it. TJS doesn't think Daniel Bryan will be in the Money in the Bank match. That is dangerous for him. Well, he competed for over an hour at the greatest, so-called greatest Royal Rumble. By the way, did you guys hear that story? I posted it on NoDQ.com. Apparently, a fan in Saudi Arabia, actually not a fan, I think he was a critic of WWE, not an actual fan, just somebody who wasn't a fan of WWE being there, but a guy who criticized WWE in Saudi Arabia apparently got arrested. If you missed it, I posted the tweet on NoDQ.com. No other details at this point, but hopefully we'll have some more information soon for everybody. Big Jeffrey sent in $2. He said SmackDown was all right. Hey, you spoiled it. We were waiting for your opinion. Now you spoiled it, saying it's all right. You got to build the anticipation. It's promotion 101, Big Jeffrey. You got to save something. Keep the people guessing. But lesson learned. Hopefully over time, you know, you're fairly new to the NoDQ channel. Once you become a seasoned veteran, you'll know you gotta hold some things back and keep people invested and hooked for later. NoDQ Virtue says the guy is going to get a public lashing. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, well, hopefully nobody in Saudi Arabia read my review. I think if a lot of us were in Saudi Arabia, actually I think like 95% of us, if we were in Saudi Arabia, we would probably be in jail. But let's go ahead and move on here. Let's get back to SmackDown Live. So we had some qualifying matches. Randy Orton versus, actually not Randy Orton. Randy Orton was not on this show. Jeff Hardy, I meant. The guy that defeated Randy Orton at Backlash. Jeff Hardy versus The Miz. Good match. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. Pretty good. A little bit of a surprise finish. Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton Bomb and he went for the pin, but then Miz countered it into his own pinfall and won the match. So somehow Miz had the energy after being hit with a Swanton Bomb to pin Jeff Hardy. Interesting. No Jeff Hardy in Money in the Bank, at least as of now. See, the thing I don't like, I'm going to explain why I'm not a fan of these qualifying matches, because there's a very decent chance somebody like Jeff Hardy or Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan, there's a decent chance that one of these guys will just somehow win another match to qualify anyways. So what's the point? If it's their only shot, then it's okay. But I still have this feeling that at least one of those guys I just mentioned, possibly all of them, are going to end up in the Money in the Bank match anyways. That's my problem. It makes the qualifying matches pointless and time filler. Now, we'll see. Maybe those guys will not qualify. We have, I believe, 4 spots left. 4 spots have been filled. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Rusev Day. That's 4 guys. You have 2 heels, 2 baby faces. Like Kayfabe Candy Ass said, they got to stretch it out for 6 weeks, 6 long weeks. See, on one hand, I like the break. I like 6 weeks between the pay-per-view, but at the same time, WWE slows things down with the booking and the shows tend to drag. That's my biggest criticism of it. Ill Games, the gamer, says, thumbs up to the shirt, Aaron. I guess he's talking about the NoDQ.com t-shirt. Glad you enjoyed, Games. I appreciate you supporting the site. Cheap plug, by the way, for you guys. This coming Friday or Saturday, Interstate Kyle will be challenging Greg Cherry for the Wrestling Trivia Championship. Make sure you tune into the Wrestling Trivia Challenge episodes. We've had some good matches, and Greg has a very big challenge ahead of him coming up. Kyle is no slouch. Mike B with a $2 super chat donation. Aaron Rift is awesome, and so is NoDQ. Well, thank you very much for that, Mike B. I appreciate it. And again, the best thing you guys can do to support the channel, spread the word. Tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a very, very long way. Caleb Jacobs is also in line. So if by some chance Greg can defeat Interstate Kyle, Caleb will be the next challenger. And we got some more challengers coming up in the next few weeks. And some of you like the Freddie Jason shirt. I appreciate that too. Got to represent my favorite serial killers, of course. Sam Atwood, $2. Do you think the Iconics shtick seems juvenile? Well, I think that's the point. I think that's the whole point of their gimmick, to be annoying and obnoxious. My problem with the gimmick is that it feels very much like a Lay Cool or Bella Twins knockoff. They don't feel like a unique enough gimmick. It just feels like a copycat gimmick. That's my problem with it right now. And I will say the match, I think it was Payne Royce against Charlotte. I thought it was a good match. I really did not have too many problems with it. It wasn't the best women's match of all time, but I thought it was acceptable. And I actually thought, I mean, the near falls were good enough in this match. I thought maybe Payne Royce was going to win, but Charlotte did end up winning. And I will say, I thought there was a chance that Payne was going to win. I did buy into the near falls a little bit. So, yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it turned out to be a better match than I was expecting going in. So Charlotte has advanced for Money in the Bank. I've seen people with different thoughts about Charlotte in the Money in the Bank match. The only way I see her winning is if she's going to cash it in on Carmella, which I think would be very entertaining because that's never happened before to my knowledge, where one person cashed in on somebody and then that person that lost wins Money in the Bank and gets revenge by cashing in on that other person. So I think that that would be an interesting storyline. Charlotte otherwise doesn't need it. She doesn't need the Money in the Bank contract. Time will tell who else gets inserted into that match. Right now, it's just Charlotte and Ember Moon. We'll see if more people get added soon. Hero Villain 5 with a $2 Super Chat donation. Maybe WWE has lost the ability to slow build stories. I miss the show length storylines that have a beginning when the show starts and last throughout the show until the end. Example, like when Mark Henry and Chyna went out on a date. You had one segment, and then later in the show, there was a follow-up. Later in the show, there was another follow-up, and it was a show-long storyline. I miss those things. Or like, even though I wasn't a fan of Steve Austin as a heel, the Steve Austin, Kurt Angle segments with Vince backstage, where they would give each other presents, and they would exchange gifts, the hats, the badges. Those segments were really entertaining, and there would be various segments in one show, so it would keep you invested. You would wait to see what the next segment was going to be. That's something I miss, and we don't have that now. It just feels like there's no real storylines. It's just guys going out there and having matches, and I think that's boring. And they're doing the selfie promos, which to me is just filler. Why not put these guys in storylines? Why not have Rusev try to become an American? Have him go to American shops, try American food, stuff like that. Do some fun storylines with these guys. Maybe have the Iconics try to become normal people, live the day of a normal average person, and they're all miserable and they're just angry that they have to live like a poor person, something like that. You know, they're supposed to be high society, high maintenance, so they have to live the life of a poor person. Or somebody like Mandy Rose, who, by the way, has a brand new theme song and entrance, kind of like Goldust a little bit. I definitely got a Goldust vibe from it. Paul Jackson with a that's his nickname. I was going to say 1988 Super Chat donation. Yeah, I would have basically had a heart attack here. Paul Jackson with a $2 Super Chat donation. Do you think Roman and Mahal will close Money in the Bank? I hope not. Please do not even suggest that. How dare you, Paul Jackson? Don't even bring up that idea to me. I don't know what I'll do if that happens. If it happens, you guys are going to have a very entertaining post-Money in the Bank video. I'll just leave that there for you. ZRJro with a $2 Super Chat donation. I think Styles and Nakamura low blows is Attitude Era-ish. The storyline just sucks. The official AC says Chicago triggered. I thought that said Chrono Trigger for a second. That would be more entertaining than anything WWE has done lately. Steve Herman says you better walk out if that happens, Aaron. Yeah, but WWE already has my money, and I'm a sucker. But I got to review the show, you know? I got to watch the whole show from start to finish. So I'm stuck. But if anybody else wants to leave, then go for it. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Michael Freeman says, stop thinking it's 1998. I know, right? Back in my day, people actually had storylines. The Nakamura AJ Styles thing, to me, it sucks. I don't care about these guys having a match at this point. The low blows have ruined it for me. The lack of a cup from AJ Styles has ruined it for me. Dakota with a $2 Super Chat donation. I wish Goldust was on SmackDown as Mandy's manager. Thank you for the Super Chat donation. I would be down with that, but it looks like, well, I'm not sure what's going on with Mandy and Sonya Deville because Paige banned Sonya from ringside. So maybe they're going off on their own now, and that's the end of that tag team. But yeah, I like that. I like the idea of Goldust and Mandy keeping their mixed match challenge team together. I definitely saw an inspiration from Goldust with that entrance and the blurry video, kind of like that SpongeBob SquarePants meme. Michael Freeman says Money in the Bank is going to suck. I hope not, because Money in the Bank over the years has been a good show more times than not, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, CRJ Rowe, Goldust is still around. He was on Raw this week. I remember that. I forgot like 90% of what happened on Raw, but I remember Goldust was on that show doing a promo for Money in the Bank. I know one show that will not suck that weekend, and that's NXT. And I'm really looking forward to that show. That should be an amazing atmosphere, and it'll be my first NXT pay-per-view. I've been to a few NXT house shows, and they've been really good. The house shows have been really strong. So if the house shows can entertain me, then I know the pay-per-views are going to be just completely insane. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, remember when Goldust got a push for like 2 weeks? Interstate Kyle says, leave it to WWE to script a storyline between two great athletes like Styles and Nakamura. Yeah, the only saving grace for me is, number one, Nakamura's music, which I think is really cool, and the no speak English promos. That has been entertaining. But other than that, the low blows have not done it for me. What's going to happen next with those two? Will they have one more match? Will Samoa Joe get added to the mix? And will the chances of Styles retaining his title drastic go down? Every time I say adding Samoa Joe to the mix, I think of that Scott Steiner math promo. Every single time. ZRJro says, Aaron, did Nakamura have a low blow gimmick in Japan? I don't know. I don't think he did, but I could be wrong on that. I think people would have made a big deal out of it if he did. But I was not watching much New Japan, so I could not tell you on that for sure. Steve says he did not. Kurapika07 says Samoa Joe will cost AJ the title at Money in the Bank, most likely. Possibly, but I could see Joe being in the match, maybe do a triple threat. I could see potentially AJ and Nakamura having one more match. I'm surprised they didn't do it for next week in London. I think that would have been a really great crowd to do that match in front of. But maybe we'll get it sometime over the next 5 weeks. Remember, we still have 5 weeks until Money in the Bank. So there's plenty of time for things to happen, for people to show up, for all hell to break loose and whatnot. So what else happened on SmackDown? I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. This is where you guys can help me. This is why doing the live video with the chat room helps, because I'm sure I'm missing a segment or two from SmackDown. Let me take a sip of water as you guys fill me in. Cesaro. All right, so Cesaro versus Xavier Woods. I am so sick of the pancakes, yet the Baltimore crowd loved it. They loved it. So, whatever. It was Baltimore, though. Will London love it? Maybe. I'm just so sick of it. I'm tired of the pancakes. I'm tired of the New Day. The act has gotten so stale for me. It's almost as bad as the original New Day from 2014. It's just so lame. But at least Cesaro got the win, right? We had the pancakes being thrown around, and Cesaro somehow managed to win. Actually, I think he busted open Xavier Woods. He did the uppercut. Xavier jumped off the top rope, got hit with an uppercut for the finish, and I think Xavier legitimately got busted open. Maybe he lost a tooth or something. I don't know. Busted lip or something. Did I get that? Did I catch it correctly? I think Xavier Woods got busted open legitimately from the mouth. It looked like there was blood coming out from the mouth. Somebody said he bit his tongue. Yeah, that's possible as well. And AJ Styles, of course, had the... So I just thought that was hilarious how AJ and Nakamura could not compete on the show because of the low blows. Their balls were hurting so badly, but I guess, you know, AJ had the mark on his face so he could sell getting beat up. I'm sure they did some sort of dark match, probably with Orton and Big Cass and Nakamura, AJ Styles, some kind of tag team match with those guys. Maybe somebody, actually, Jeffrey should be able to fill us in on that. So, Jeffrey, Big Jeffrey, you want to call in and give me your thoughts? Give us your thoughts on the pay-per-view. Not pay-per-view, what am I thinking? House show. No, not a house show. I'm looking at Talk Show God's Comment. Get it together, Aaron. TV show. Smackdown Live. All right, so go ahead and call in. Big Jeffrey, where are you at? Yep, that was a botch. I definitely botched that one. Where's Jeffrey? I just saw him in the chat room a moment ago, and he's not around. Paul Jackson with a $5 Super Chat donation. Thank you, Paul Jackson. Fans keep saying Roman is Luger 2.0, but WWE booked Luger poorly. Remember SummerSlam 93, Luger's countout win over Yokozuna. That is true, but WWE's screwing up with Roman as well. Look at this past month with the Backlash pay-per-view and the Greatest Royal Rumble. Anyways, Big Jeffrey has arrived. Big Jeffrey, how's it going?
I'm doing good, Aaron. What's up, man?
I'm doing good. So you were there in Baltimore, Maryland for SmackDown Live. Your overall thoughts on the show, what you liked, what you didn't like.
And it was a decent show. I did enjoy the two the Money in the Bank qualifier matches. The crowd was pretty red hot for Hardy. The last match, the main event, I didn't see that coming whatsoever. I didn't expect Rusev to win. Like you said, Rusev Day is back.
So what was the attendance like? Because from what I could tell, it looked like...
It really wasn't sold out. We sat in the 300 section, and where we sat, it was pretty much full, but then like the rest of the 300 section was completely blocked off.
Yeah, it looked like most of the upper deck was empty. So,
yeah.
Who would you say got the biggest pops on this show? Who was the most over, and who got the biggest heel heat on this show?
Well, Hardy got the biggest pop. I went crazy when Hardy came out. Hardy got a big pop. Daniel Bryan did. Rusev Day got one. As far as like heel heat, maybe Peyton Royce.
Wow.
Yeah, she got. Yeah, I think Peyton Royce did.
It feels like there's not a very good heel side on SmackDown Live. It feels like they're really lacking some depth with the heels.
Oh yeah, Mandy Rose too. I didn't see that coming whatsoever. Pinning Becky Lynch like that.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. So I'm guessing the crowd was quite shocked by that.
Yeah, and then before the show happened, we had like a dark match. We had Asuka and Sonya Deville in a match. So I think Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose have gone their separate ways.
Yeah. Now it's about 30 minutes after SmackDown ended, and you were in the chat room fairly quickly. Did you leave right away? Did you not stay for 205 Live, or are you still there?
Yeah, we left. We left right after SmackDown ended. We didn't stay for 205 Live.
Wow.
But apparently, like, dark match main event for that was AJ Styles and Nakamura for the WWE title. Because during the commercial break, Paige came on the big screen and said Nakamura was clear to wrestle, and AJ said he had enough in him to beat Nakamura. So I guess they're both technically cleared to wrestle after 205 Live.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really weird.
Of course. So that wasn't enough to entice you to stick out 205 Live?
No. When the speaking of the New Day, when the New Day came out, they were throwing the pancakes. And literally, Kofi threw one. I don't know how he did it, or those pancakes must be really light because they threw it all the way to the 300 section, and some guy caught it.
Wow. Were you jealous?
Yeah.
You wanted to catch one, I'm sure.
Not really, but it was kind of cool to see it come all the way to, like, from where he was standing, like, at the beginning of towards the end of the entrance ramp, And he just like flung it. That thing just went high fly. It was
Damn.
crazy.
So if Big E handed you a pancake, would you eat it?
Hell yeah, I'd eat it.
Wow. Even if how do you know he didn't like rub it up against his chest or something?
Okay, if he pulled it out of his chest like he did all the other times, then no. But if it came out of a cereal box, I'd probably eat it.
Yeah, but you never know where it came from. He might have rubbed it up against his chest and then put it in the box and then handed it to you.
Yeah, then maybe not.
And plus, keep in mind, his sweaty baby oil hands probably were already massaging his chest earlier when he picked up the pancake and then handed it to you.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
But if he had gloves on, you would eat a Big E New Day pancake.
Most likely, yeah. Just for the heck of it.
Would you put syrup on it?
Or if I had, well, obviously I wouldn't have syrup on me. But no, I wouldn't.
You mean you wouldn't take it home and then put syrup on it later? That's something they need. They need New Day syrup. If they're going to have pancakes, why not have some syrup as well?
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they'll have it coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's all part of a balanced breakfast. You got the Bootios, you got the pancakes. Now you got to have the New Day syrup and maybe some New Day bacon. New Day branded bacon. Although that's going to be tougher to bring out there.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a decent show, you know.
So you thought you got your money's worth?
This is my voice.
You got your money's worth, you felt?
Yeah, I mean, I only paid, it was like it was me and like 5 of my friends, and I only paid like, what, $20 per ticket, so.
Oh, nice. See, I forget that in Baltimore, the tickets are a lot cheaper. Actually, in Portland, they're somewhat cheaper. And even Chicago, I noticed the Money in the Bank tickets were way cheaper than LA. And I was surprised by that because Chicago's the 3rd biggest city in the country. I guess it's just LA and New York where those ticket prices are just insane.
Insane, yeah. Yeah, Baltimore is, you know, when you go to Royal Farms Arena, it's tickets aren't that really expensive, so it's all good. And Interstate Cal needs to stop making fun of Baltimore. I saw that little comment that he wrote in there.
All right. Well, thank you very much for calling in and giving your thoughts. So as people know, they can find you. You have your own custom URL now, NoDQ.com/Jeff, GEOFF, correct?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. And anything else you'd like to plug, or is that all you got?
That's all I got. Just follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, guys.
All right. So thanks again, Jeffrey, for calling in, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Take it easy, man.
Bye.
All right. That was Big Jeff calling in from Baltimore, Maryland. He thought it was a decent show. He did feel he got his money's worth. Then again, he only spent like $20. By the way, we're over 200. We're at like 220 live viewers now. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Virtue calls him G-off. Yeah, it's weird because I always think of Jeff as Jeff, but there is the other spelling, Geoff. So we have 2 Jeffs on the NoDQ. One with the Jeff spelling and one with the Geoff spelling. Little confusing, but you can follow both of them, NoDQ.com/one spelling of Jeff and then the other spelling of Jeff. So I think that's all I got for SmackDown. I think I covered all the bases. I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. Thank you all very much again for tuning in. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com this week. I got NoDQ video. You can submit questions using the hashtag NoDQTurns20. The NoDQ review should be returning this week. Stay tuned for that. Wrestling Trivia Challenge with Interstate Kyle versus the PA Sensation, Greg Cherry. Talk Wrestling is apparently coming back on Jeff's channel. Go check out Jeff, NoDQ.com/Jeff, Jeff for Jeff Meacham. Check him out. I believe he's bringing back Talk Wrestling this week. And that's all I got for NoDQ Live. I will see you guys next time.